At my sister's wedding, she presented me to her boss as a jobless failure. My parents chimed in, stating, "She's the shame of our family." Her boss glanced at me, smiled, then turned to her and said, "You're fired."
My sister was taken aback.
Hey, Reddit, weddings are supposed to unite families. Mine. It revealed the underlying issues. It was my sister Emily's special day. She appeared radiant, or at least acted as if she was, dancing around the venue and flaunting her dress, her ring, her guests, her ideal life. Meanwhile, I stood quietly by a table, sipping water, trying to blend into the background, hoping to avoid drawing attention to myself. But I should have known Emily wouldn't resist. She never did. I noticed her approaching, pulling a man along with her. She was smirking, not smiling, just smirking. That was my first warning. "Jessica," she called out loudly, grabbing everyone's attention. "Come meet my boss." Her boss, the CEO of the company she boasted about every Thanksgiving. The man she'd longed to impress for years.
I smiled politely.
"Hello," but Emily interrupted. "This is my sister," she said sweetly, then louder. "The jobless failure of our family." The room fell silent. My stomach churned. Before I could respond, my mother laughed. "Oh yes, she's the disgrace. Poor thing can't get her life together." My father casually added, "She's been living off handouts for years." My throat felt tight. I wanted to vanish. Emily's boss looked at me with curiosity. Not disgust, not amusement, just curiosity. I managed to whisper, "That's not true." But Emily clapped loudly, cutting me off. "Don't be shy, Jess. We all know the truth." My parents laughed as if it was perfectly normal to humiliate me in front of strangers. Heat rushed to my face, and my eyes stung. But then her boss turned fully towards me, extended his hand, and asked calmly, "Jessica, what do you do?" I swallowed, and for the first time in a long while, I decided not to shrink away. "I'm a senior software architect," I said softly. "I design AI systems for corporate security." An awkward silence followed. Emily blinked, as if I'd spoken a foreign language. My mother frowned. My father's jaw dropped. Her boss raised an eyebrow. "You work in cybersecurity?" "Yes." "For which company?" I took a breath and named a global tech giant, a firm 10 times larger than Emily's workplace. Her boss's eyes widened in surprise. Guests around us began to whisper. Emily laughed nervously. "No, Jess is exaggerating. She always exaggerates." Her boss shook his head. "Actually, I know that company very well." Emily froze. He looked back at me. "I assume you didn't mention this because you value your privacy." "Yes," I replied quietly. "My job requires confidentiality. I don't usually discuss it." Emily's face lost all color. My mother's smile faded. My father swallowed hard. Then her boss asked the question that shifted the room's atmosphere. "Emily, why did you introduce your sister like that?" Emily stammered. "Oh, it was just a joke. You know how families can be." "No," he said calmly. "I don't." He glanced between us. "Jessica, could you please excuse us for a moment?" I nodded and stepped aside, but I stayed close enough to hear everything. "Emily," her boss said softly, "why would you insult your sister in front of me?" "Duh." Emily let out a nervous laugh. "Oh, she's dramatic. She always overreacts. She's nothing special." Her boss interrupted sharply. "You didn't even let her finish a sentence." "Well, she lies sometimes." "No," he said firmly. "She didn't lie. I know her company firsthand. It's very selective." Emily went silent. Her boss continued. "And you humiliated her at your wedding in front of your parents." Emily whispered. "I didn't think it mattered." He sighed heavily. "It does. It tells me a lot." She tried to grab his arm. "Please don't misunderstand. I was just trying to be funny." "Funny," he repeated. "Emily, that was cruel, unnecessary, and frankly unprofessional." Her voice grew frantic. "I didn't mean it like that," but he wasn't finished. He stared directly into her eyes and said, "I saw something today I can't ignore." Emily's voice shook. "What do you mean?" He sighed again, long and disappointed. You displayed jealousy, pettiness, and a concerning lack of emotional control. Emily's breath hitched.
No, please.
And if this is how you treat your own sister, I can only imagine how you treat your subordinates. Emily shook her head vigorously. That's not fair. Then he delivered the line that chilled the entire room. Emily, you're fired. Emily froze, her face going blank.
I felt my knees shake.
Had I heard that correctly? Her boss continued, voice low but firm. You will receive your formal termination letter this evening. This behavior is unacceptable both personally and professionally. Emily's lips parted. No, you can't do that. Not today. Not here. Her boss nodded once. I can. And I just did. But he wasn't finished. He approached me, stopping just 2 feet away, and with a gentle, astonished smile, said, Jessica, I owe you an apology. I blinked. For what? For witnessing that. No one should be treated that way. Behind him, Emily was crying, clinging to her husband as my parents panicked beside her. Then the boss leaned in and whispered something that took my breath away. May I ask you something privately? I nodded slowly. He motioned toward a side hallway. As I followed, I heard Emily shout behind me, Don't you talk to her. She doesn't deserve anything. But her boss didn't look back. He simply said, She deserves more than you ever gave her. We entered the quiet hallway. He turned to me, took a breath, and said, Jessica, I need to ask you about something your sister told me at work. I froze. What did she say? He hesitated, looking almost guilty. Finally, he said, She told everyone something about why you're the disgrace of the family. I think you deserve to know what she's been saying. Emily's boss regarded me with an expression I couldn't quite decipher, part concern, part disbelief. Jessica, he began softly, before today, I only knew your sister's version of you. My heartbeat pounded in my ears. I swallowed. What did she say? He paused, then sighed. She claimed you were unstable. She said you struggled with addiction in the past, that you hopped from job to job because you couldn't maintain it. She claimed your parents always had to rescue you. My lips parted slightly. Each sentence felt like a blow. She said your jealousy was dangerous. I looked at him, stunned. I've never used drugs in my life. I whispered. And my job is one of the most stable in my field. My parents have never helped me. They barely acknowledge me. He nodded gently. I figured out she was lying when she introduced you the way she did tonight. That wasn't normal. That was malicious. Then he added, She also said you tried to sabotage her career. I nearly laughed. Sabotage? How? She claimed you sent fake complaints about her to HR, anonymous reports. My stomach twisted. I've never even contacted her HR. I didn't know the company name until tonight. He nodded again, now angry on my behalf. I believe you. Then he dropped the bomb. The only reason I came to this wedding was because she told me you were planning to make a scene. She wanted me to witness it. I stiffened. She set me up, I whispered. He nodded once.
Exactly.
She wanted you to embarrass yourself in front of me so she could appear as the successful sister. Instead, she exposed herself. Before either of us could speak again, shouting echoed down the hallway. My mother's voice, loud and shrill. This is your fault, Jessica. Emily cried behind her. Her boss and I stepped out of the hallway into view. My parents rushed toward me as if I'd ignited a fire. Dad pointed aggressively. You ruined her wedding. Mom screeched. You embarrassed your sister in front of her boss, and now she's fired. Emily slumped onto a chair, mascara running. Her husband stood awkwardly behind her, looking like he regretted the whole marriage already. My mother turned to Emily. Sweetie, it's okay. We'll talk to HR. We'll fix this. Emily cried harder. I didn't do anything wrong. She did this. She always ruins everything. My father turned to me. You're pathetic. Jealous. Bitter. I stepped back, stunned by their yelling. Emily's boss stepped between us. Enough, he snapped. My parents froze. Your daughter wasn't fired because of Jessica, he continued, voice firm. She was fired because of her own actions. Mom gasped dramatically. Dad scoffed. That's ridiculous, but the boss said coldly. What's ridiculous is how you allowed your daughter to bully her own sister in public at a wedding in front of her colleagues, with your full support. Emily wailed. I didn't bully her. I was joking. Her boss shook his head. You lied about her to your entire team. You fabricated stories to gain sympathy. You weaponized her reputation for attention. My parents fell silent. Emily whispered, You can't do this. Not today. Her boss looked down at her with disappointment. You did this to yourself. My mother turned to me again. This is your fault, she hissed. Something inside me hardened. Slowly, I exhaled. No, Mom, I said gently. It's yours. She blinked. What? I stepped forward, calm, steady, unwavering. You created this dynamic. You taught Emily that cruelty is acceptable. You taught her that I exist to be humiliated. You taught her that she deserves praise and I deserve nothing. Dad rolled his eyes. Oh, stop pretending you're the victim. I'm not pretending, I replied. I am the victim. For years. I looked directly at Emily. You lied about me. You dragged my name through the mud. You mocked me, belittled me, and weaponized my family's bias. She trembled. I didn't. Yes, I said quietly. You did. Then I faced my parents. And you believed every lie she told because it fit the story you always wanted. Mom's jaw tightened. Dad's nostrils flared. Emily sobbed harder. Her boss stood beside me, arms crossed. For what it's worth, he said, I'm sorry you were treated this way. I nodded, but Emily's breakdown wasn't over. Suddenly, she stood up and screamed. This is all about her. She thinks she's better than me. Guests turned. Her new in-laws stared in shock. Emily pointed at me, shaking with rage. You stole my night. I raised an eyebrow. I was quietly standing by a table when you dragged me to your boss. You ruined my life, she shrieked. Her boss muttered, Good God. Emily hurled her bouquet at me. It hit the floor, skidding across the tiles. Her new mother-in-law whispered, We should have postponed the wedding. Her husband rubbed his face. This is the last thing I needed to witness. Mom rushed to Emily, wrapping her in her arms. Dad glared at me. Get out. You're not welcome here. I nodded once. Finally, I said something we agree on. Emily's boss accompanied me to the exit. He paused at the door. Jessica, my company is hiring senior engineers. If you ever want to switch teams, you have a place. I blinked. Are you serious? He smiled. You've shown more integrity in 5 minutes than your sister has in 5 years. I walked out, head held high, heart lighter than it had been in years. That night, I blocked my parents, blocked Emily, blocked the toxicity that had poisoned my life since childhood. Emily's breakdown went viral on social media. Her new in-laws demanded therapy. She lost her job, her reputation, her dignity, and for once, none of it was blamed on me. I accepted her boss's job offer. I moved to a new city, built a new life. One quiet morning, I received a letter from Emily. Just one sentence inside. Please come back. I threw it away, because sometimes walking away is the only way to move forward.